everybody, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I thought in today's video I would talk about my experience this morning of getting lumbar facet injections or lumbar injections, low back injections in the small joints in my lower back.
0 people. Starting help. To stop help. 3-finger double tap. Toggle wounded.
Excuse voiceover, but get injections in my low back from someone who is totally blind, and what that experience was like for me. For me personally, the surgeon that I had and the nurse in there were great at explaining to me what was
0 people.
going on. I got to the surgical center and had to check in and just sign a handful of papers just saying that I consented to them billing my insurance and all that fun stuff. And then me and my mom waited in the waiting room, and then they called us back. And I brought my mom with me just so that way I didn't have to call a Lyft or an Uber, because I didn't know what exactly, like how much pain I would be in after the procedure, and didn't know if I would be in that mindset after the fact. And they recommend you have someone who can drive you home with you if possible. So they got me to the back, and my mom had to take a phone call, so it was just me and one of the initial nurses in the room, and she was really sweet and made sure that I had the gown on correctly, but wasn't overimposing, and let me change on my own, which if you have a disability, you know how awkward it can be when some nurses don't think you can change on your own, all that fun stuff. So she was really kind and professional and good at her job. And then they got me in the bed on the stretcher, got me comfortable with a pillow and a couple of blankets. And then another nurse came in and gave it, because of, as many of y'all know, I'm open with my mental health struggles, gave me a Xanax, due to the fact that I struggle with anxiety and I kind of didn't know what to expect. They offered that I could take a Xanax 30 minutes before, and I took it. I rarely take them. It was just, I wanted to set myself up for success in an unknown environment. So I took it and went through my medical history, made sure nothing had changed, made sure I was ready to go for the procedure, made sure there wasn't any last minute contraindications or indications that I shouldn't have gotten the procedure this morning. And then the surgeon walked through and marked on my back where he thought he would need to stick the needles, to mark that it was a bilateral, which means on both sides of my back type of procedure. And then about 10 or so minutes after that, the nurse that was going to be in the operating room, came and got me, in the operating room with me, came and got me, and pulled me into the operating room, and my mom went and waited in the waiting room, and they helped me get on my stomach from where I was laying on my back. And I think there was the nurse that was with me, the surgeon, an x-ray tech, and then like another nurse in the operating room that I knew of. And they took a couple of x-rays. They did 2 injections on each side. They started with my right side, put the numbing medicine in the first injection closer to the middle of my back, and which felt like a sting and a burn. And then they put in a different needle with the actual medication. And then they did that a few more times, about 3 more times in the different spots. And it wasn't, the only part that hurt was the lidocaine. It felt like I was getting stung, like a bee sting or something like that. And the only injection that really hurt was the bottom one on the left, when they put the needle in or whenever they put the medicine in for the shot. The other ones just felt like pressure but didn't hurt. But the last one on my bottom left, because they do one like closer to the middle of your back, like kind of like, I don't know, like a little bit up on your back, and then they did one kind of right above my butt cheek. And on the left side, the one right above my butt cheek really hurt pretty bad. And they said that can be normal if that's your more like inflamed, irritated side, because even when they do numb you up pretty good, if the nerve is inflamed right there, like that can be the injection that hurts. So that one hurt pretty bad. But they said overall I did really well, and they were really good at like explaining it to me. And I was really thankful that they did offer me the Xanax, because I was super anxious, and it did mellow me out so I could just kind of be chill and was able to ask my questions. But I wasn't as panicky once I got in the operating room as I was when I first walked in the door. So overall, they were a great group of people to work with. And if I was in enough pain, I would definitely, if this doesn't work, I would definitely do it again if need be. So yeah, we'll see. They said it takes about 2 weeks for me to know for sure what's happening, and we'll see from there. So yeah, I know there's not a lot of people who talk about this, who have other things going on. So I just wanted to explain my experience, and I'll have more content coming soon. Bye.
One finger's right left. Move to previous item. One finger's right. Move to next item. F11. F12.